Hello everyone, this is Maryann here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge shout out to you. I've spent most of the weekend doing a little bit of a deep dive on the Charlie Kirk assassination, political assassination. And looking at all the various narratives that are coming from both within MAGA, from left, right, and somewhere in between, and also the extremes and the fringes. I've looked at it all because I have to say, as I said before, it's a sad and tragic occasion when you get political assassinations, and most of us didn't always agree with what Charlie Kirk has said. And you've heard a lot of podcasters on, let's just say, my side of the aisle, independent and to the left, moderate and to the left. I think independent would sum up my political views. You've said that they didn't always agree with him, but they abhor political violence and no one deserves to die. Charlie Kirk didn't deserve to die, and that should go without saying. However, what we've seen in the aftermath of his untimely and tragic passing has been absolutely unbelievable. Threats. People have been fired for saying something as simple as he was inflammatory. I didn't agree with him. I'm sorry that he died, but some of the things he said were terrible. And they've been let go from their jobs. And so you need to be aware that in the US at the moment, I'm sitting here in Australia looking on at this, but in the US at the moment, there's a lot of retribution. There's a lot of movement towards shutting down free speech. There's a bill before the Congress right now to take away Americans' passports if they're critical in any way of Israel. The pressure upon podcasters not to be critical of Israel is immense. And in fact, there was pressure on Charlie Kirk not to be critical of Israel. And in the final weeks of his life, he started to move away a little bit. I understand Turning Point USA was heavily funded by Israel. But he started to move away a little bit. He started to speak about the Epstein files, call for them to be released. He floated the possibility of Epstein being Mossad, which is Israel's equivalent to the CIA. And he was also critical of what Israel is doing in Gaza to the Palestinian people. So there is tremendous pressure upon MAGA podcasters at the moment to toe the line. And they're not doing it. They don't want to be shut up. They want their free speech as much as you and I do. So, as you know, they've apprehended a young 22-year-old from Utah by the name of Tyler Robertson from a Trump Republican family, voting family. We don't know much about his affiliation. We don't know anything about his motivation. And in fact, today it's come out that he denies assassinating Charlie Kirk. And so do they have the wrong person? Can we trust anything that is coming out of the FBI? No. The far right, because I want to be very clear that Republicans are not all like the disgusting people on X who are calling for Democrats to be shot and killed. That doesn't apply to all Republicans. So please, it's important to keep perspective at this time. But they're bringing up the fact that he supposedly roomed with a young fellow transitioning to becoming a woman, and that supposedly was his lover. Here's the caution here: do not believe anything until you, well, give it some time and allow the facts to come through, but be very, very suspicious of anything you hear coming out of the Department of Justice, the FBI, or Trump's mouth himself. Time will tell, but today Tyler Robertson is denying. He's saying he's innocent. He's saying he didn't kill Charlie Kirk. All right, so we're going to devote this session to this flashpoint in the US. It is migrating its way, unfortunately, over to the shores of other Western countries, including Australia. Unfortunately, Charlie Kirk's widow, instead of calling for calm and a drop in the temperature while we allow the investigation to continue, talked about a battle cry, and also accused the evildoers of that they would face retribution at the same time as Trump is calling for radical left lunatics to be locked up. And it was the worst I've seen it in the US, and I don't blame you at all if you switch off your screens and go and cleanse yourself, because it's a terrible, terrible, terrible environment in America. Now, I want to say this: there is always cause and effect. There is always consequences for all of this. Tourism in America has dropped drastically. Businesses don't want to come and invest in America, in Trump's America. He's, if I could swear I would, but he's really stuffed up the American economy. And I think we're already in some kind of, for the US, they're already in this precipitation toward a crash, and I feel a crash is coming. So it's it's tough out there. All right, let's get started. Having said that, I actually did say a prayer for Charlie Kirk this morning when I opened up this reading, because I've seen, while he did call for Joe Biden to be thrown into jail and die by the death penalty, to be executed, I guess, for being the president of the United States, that he didn't agree with. While I saw all those clips, the horrendous hit list that he had out on black professors, I saw all of that. While I saw all of that, I also saw some other things too, and I saw him defend an immigrant when his bodyguards went to manhandle her. So, I've seen a lot of clips of Charlie Kirk. And as I said, he's a soul, and I approach this with solemn, it's a solemn thing. Okay, all right, let's. It says so much about America today, and that's what I think. It's such an indictment on American politics at this time. Okay, so we're going to start. First of all, before I get started, let's just see. I felt it was appropriate to position this reading for a lot of reasons, but it was a lengthy introduction, but it was needed. All right, let's just see what Spirit would like to show me or tell me. And I keep getting babies. I keep getting young kids, and I feel that the next generation, perhaps, even though these are young white male shooters, I think the next generation, when I talk about hope, I feel that they're not going to repeat some of the mistakes that we've made. And so even if we're tired and weary, we should keep working toward a peaceful and loving world for our children and our grandchildren. Okay, what messages around the Charlie Kirk shooting? I still get the distinct, I'm seeing the globe and across, so influences right across the globe here, religion as well. I still get the feeling that there was still a some kind of thread to do with his killing that involved an overseas entity. Now, I'm not saying they're responsible. I'm just saying there's some kind of thread that will continue to emerge about an overseas entity here. Now, there is a MAGA internal war between the Groypers, which Tyler Robertson is allegedly, we don't know too much, is allegedly supposed to be a part of the Groyper movement, which is Nick Fuante's own personal fan club army, and there is a civil war going on between these groupers and what they term as the globalist MAGAs, those that are selling out. Again, this Israel thing keeps coming into American politics. They call them the globalists, MAGA. So, again, Turning Point USA was heavily funded by Israel. So, all right, so there's a global aspect here that everyone has to confront before we can move on. All right, and will they confront it? I don't know. Hopefully there are enough that will. All right, so what else do you want to show me? Now, Turning Point USA removed the cameras, because I'm just getting Charlie Kirk's, and there's an image. Sometimes I can sort of be tap into the residual energy, and there's something above him that will be enlightening in all of this. And as I understand it, Turning Point USA removed the cameras, their own cameras that would have shown a different view. We're going to ask if Tyler Robertson killed Charlie Kirk, so don't worry. I'm trying to give you as full a dive as I can, given that's what I did over the weekend. The lot of it. Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want to show me that's important here? And I do want to say again that I do believe nobody could argue with the fact that Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die, including Charlie Kirk, would feel that would be part of his journey in the afterlife of coming to terms with the fact that he did not deserve to die. All right. Now is not the right time to channel Charlie, although I did get a little bit of it then. I feel that there's not enough time. The soul goes through a process once they've passed over, and I feel the process is still undergoing. It's too soon to channel Charlie Kirk. All right, so let's get into the cards. But I could only imagine how outraged initially, shocked and outraged and confused he would be when he realised that what had happened. Okay, and there's a question to be asked: why didn't the president, given the president's campaign hired Turning Point USA, why didn't he receive more protection, a step up in protection? Why? There's a lesson going forward for everybody in these outdoor situations, the danger that they put themselves in. All right, let's see. Let's go into Tyler Robertson's energy. He's a bit of an enigma. This is complex. He was a gamer. He obviously was brought up in a gun culture. Very good shooter. That's why there was an idea that this was a professional shot. He was raised shooting guns from a very young age. I'm not discounting any other possibilities, but all right, Tyler Robertson. This is a crossroads point for the US. Tyler Robertson. Did you kill Charlie Kirk? Did Tyler Robertson, the 22-year-old from Utah, white, male from a Mormon family who identify as Christians. Tyler Robertson, did you kill Charlie Kirk? Show me clearly. Tyler Robertson, did you kill Charlie Kirk? There's a bullseye here, somebody hitting a bullseye. Okay, so we get the family. The family is the signifier here, card here. And then we get despair. It's not clear cut. It's not clear cut. There's a despairing here of his family. And these cards will tap into all the energies that surround this situation. The King of Wands is at the foundation. So stepping forward, a bravery thing. This is a fire sign. We get justice in the past. This person doesn't feel that justice has been done. Or he wanted to, if you look at it another way, he felt he was doing some kind of, felt he was doing justice's work. All right, the King of Cups is in the sky crowning this reading. So that is, that's wisdom, but reversed, it's a lack of wisdom. The immediate future, we have the Queen of Wands, and so that's motivation and planning in the immediate future. We have the Hermit card. Remember I said September would be huge. I think that you're going to get some terrible financial news also separate to this reading in September. We are very close to we're between the eclipse, the two eclipses in September. This is eclipse energy. So the Hermit card in the present, isolation, dark night of the soul, that would figure. And then we get the environment around is wish, a wish fulfilled. Isolation and a wish fulfilled. Odd cards. The hopes and fears is the King of Pentacles. Now this is a Trump card here. This is my signifier card for Trump. But this is also money, big money. Fearing big money. Let's have a look. This is a no. The outcome card is the Ten of Rods. If I was just doing a simple yes-no reading, the outcome card would be a no. However, I don't do those sort of simple readings. We get the Hierophant, which is the law, the courts. They're going to have a hard time proving he did it. And then we get the Truth. The Truth. Now the other possibility here is he could maintain his innocence right till the very end, and when he's convicted, we get the truth through the courts. And we get an inevitability that the truth will come out. It's not clear to me from this reading. I don't think any of us are going to know that he actually committed that crime until we start to hear the evidence, and the evidence is not totally on the table. The Emperor card is the control, the leader, the Trump. Of course, we'd see the devil with that. We also get illusion and delusion. And then we get money coming through here. So, I'm just going to quickly draw a clarifier. There's an inevitability that the truth will come out. The Hierophant can be the government or a government, and we get the Ten of Rods, which is, really struggling. But it's not a yes card, the Ten of Wands. So very complex, this whole thing. I don't think we're going to learn the truth for a little while yet. Okay, did he do it? Can you show me clearly? If you want me to know, or it may be important we go through the process, did Tyler Robinson kill Charlie Kirk? And the Hierophant again, the government. The government. Twice. And the judgment card again, inevitably, and there is the crossroads. You know what this is saying? The government killed Charlie Kirk. Now, it may not be literally, but they set everything up for this to happen. The incendiariness of Trump, the division that is being stoked, the campaign, the aggressive campaign to demonise transgender people. The blame for this sits at Trump's door in so many ways. Now, that's what Spirit wants us to know from a spiritual point of view. This would not have happened whether it was a left or right president, anyone else but this current government. This would not have happened under a moderate Republican presidency, nor would it have happened under Biden's. That a MAGA hero to them, although there's a civil war going on, so let's not be loose with the truth. A highly regarded in some circles of MAGA hero would not have been cut down in another climate. All right. Now, if you did it, Tyler, and I'm not wholly convinced you did, what would have been, okay, no, let's not go there. Let's leave that. Let's ask if there were more than one person involved. Is there more than one person? A government did it. That's what it's saying. Is there more than one person involved here? Was there more than one person involved? Was there more than one person involved? The Knight of Cups, an appeal, an offer of something, and the Moon, something coming up from underneath the surface, volatility, an offer to do with volatility. The Knight of Swords is the truth emerging. The past is in the past. Something that occurred in the past is important here. The sun in the sky crowning this reading, full illumination, the strongest. Potentially, yes. The Magician card, manifestation, manipulation, is in the near future. We get 3 people, circles of support in the present. 3 people, and then the environment around is walking away from loss. 3 people. 3 people are key here. The hopes and fears, if first one plan doesn't succeed, we go to plan B. And there we go, 3. Yes, there were 3 people involved here. Tyler Robertson, if he killed Charlie Kirk, was not acting alone. There were others involved here. And then we get the despair, minor arcana, death card. 3 cups lost and 2 cups remaining. 3 people. And then the truth emerging. And then the judgment card and inevitability. So, before you lose your heads, MAGA, you want to wait for the truth, because there's more here than what we are being led to believe, and it looks like 3 people were involved. Okay. Now, I may be right, I may be wrong. Okay? I am doing what I always do, which is interrogating through my intuition, using my clairvoyance, using these symbols and messages. I'm interrogating to see, digging to see where the truth may lie. Now, I'm not right all the time. This is for entertainment purposes only. But I'm right often enough. Sometimes right the next day. I'm right. And it's proven the next day. All right. So and I say that the reason I say that is to show you that what I do, I have an end game, and the end game is to get to the facts and the truth. All right. And that's the way I've always done it. That's the way I've always done it. Chip away until we get to the truth. Okay. All right. So what was the motive of whoever killed Charlie Kirk? What was their motive? Whoever killed Charlie Kirk, what was your motive? More than one. What was the motive here? Whoever killed Charlie Kirk, and they were evil, because to take another life is evil. Whoever killed Charlie Kirk, one or more, or whoever bears responsibility, what was your motive? What was your motive? Can you show me what? There's somebody's drilling through a huge door. It's like weakening the structures, weakening something, weakening resistance, weakening the structures of something. Can you show me what was your motive? Whoever was involved or killed Charlie Kirk, what was your motive? See, this is the World card. It's to end something. What were you trying to end? And we get the Strength. So this is a huge undermining of strength. A huge cycle coming to an end as well, and in a way that is undeniable. Good God, to bring forward the truth. The Sun card. Goodness gracious me, look at these cards. What was your motive? The World, to end something, to end an old cycle. The Strength is crossing that card. A show of strength to end or change something. The Sun card, full illumination. We will get to the truth on this. The Judgment card, again, the end of something, to change something. This is why I'm devoting this whole session to this murder and tragic assassination, because I feel in my bones that this is, wherever this leads us, in whatever way this happens, this is, there's an inevitability about an old cycle ending. The Empress card, a season of time, abundance. What was your motive? To change something within time. To change something within time. Now, there's information being withheld. Somebody's, through insecurity, somebody's locked the gate on information that would shed light on this situation. Now, juggling. Trying to balance out and make decisions. That's the minor arcana manipulation when it's negatively oriented. Somebody trying to manipulate something, and then we get victory in the environment around to cause a victory, to enact a victory. Now, hopes and fears, moving on, moving out of troubled waters. It's going to come out they're holding back information on Kirk. Charlie Kirk's murder. And then we get the Queen of Cups, nurturing oneself. It's funny, Kirk said there was, the word empathy or the sentiment of empathy was dangerous. And yet the Queen of Cups is empathy. And empathy is what I feel when I see all those clips of he and his wife and his young family. I only feel empathy. The Queen of Cups also portends something being let out, a secret being let out. And we get the motive being to cause a huge emotional backlash here. Now, whether it's Tyler Robertson that did this, Tyler Robertson and two others, whether there was overseas involvement, It's to break something and to cause this emotional flooding of feelings of anger and confusion and retribution. The Tower card. To break something. To break something down. Okay. The truth is going to come out. To cause the maximum amount of chaos. This is like a January 6th card in a way. To cause the maximum amount of chaos and in a way destruction. That was the motive. All right. I'm going to ask the question that one side of MAGA is kind of posing, and that is, was Israel involved? Let's have it out, eh? I don't know. Maybe this will get demonetized. I don't know. All right. Was Israel involved? Was Israel involved? Russia is the other possibility here as well. But we won't. We'll go there. I mean, I don't know why that came to mind, but it did. All right. Let's just go with Israel. Was Israel involved? Was Israel involved? Again, the Epstein files, whether or not he worked for Mossad, my reading suggests that he did. All of this is at stake. Was Israel involved? Was Israel involved? We've got to dig. We've got to keep digging. So we get anxiety. There's a lot of anxiety here. And then justice, because the truth may emerge. I'm not saying that Israel was involved, but we've got a past aspect to this. We get wish fulfillment, which is interesting in the past. Things being smooth, not so smooth now. More and more people across the world are pulling away from Israel because of what it's done in Gaza. And for those that are worried about Hamas rearing its ugly head, it's a designated terrorist organisation. Hamas, Hezbollah, Iran, all the proxies are being weakened and will eventually disappear. When I say disappear, not have this kind of influence. The Palestinian Liberation Organisation, the PLO, will be brought into any sort of governance role or leadership role. Hamas will be no more. Okay, the death card. The death card. The end of something. Was Israel involved? Justice and the death card and the tower. So, what I'm going to say here, I'm going to be measured, and I'm going to say what these cards are saying is the fact that you have one, I don't know if it's a half, but a good deal of MAGA. It's really a America First versus the Israel America First branch of MAGA. I want to say also, in case you missed it, that all of the countries in the world, in the UN, voted, bar 10, I think it was the US, Israel, and Papua New Guinea, Nauru, small players like that. Every single country in the world voted to recognise the Palestinian state. The Queen of Swords, objectivity, and the Hanged Man, pausing or suspending objectivity, pausing or suspending stability, the truth and stability. Lies and deceit in the hopes and fears. And the outcome card is defending oneself. So I'm not going to say that they were involved. I don't know. I'm not going to say for sure because the Seven of Wands is a no card. However, it suggests that whether they were or whether they weren't, they're having to defend themselves because there's an outpouring against them. And we have betrayal and broken-hearted. And then the moon, volatility. Right at the moment, we have the Israeli opposition leader, God bless him, coming out and saying, yeah, I'm not anti-Semitic. God bless the opposition leader who came out and said, look what Netanyahu's done to us. The world hates us. Look, he set back our cause generations. Okay. I'm not going to say for sure that Israel were involved, but whether they were or whether they weren't, the genie's already out of the bottle. If they can, there are friends and sources that say Kirk was reluctant, even though he wanted to go against Israel. He was worried that if he did, what might happen to him. All right. Let's go to MAGA now. And this will be a longer session today because I also feel that we're not out of the woods yet with political assassinations. I feel that AOC needs to be very, 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 very careful in the coming weeks, as does Ilhan Omar. They're the two that come to mind. Okay, so very careful. Very, very. All the bright lights on the left need to be very careful. Okay. You out there needs to be careful in this climate. Don't tell me in the comments how much you disliked. Just leave a dot or a thank you. Or whatever. Whatever you feel you want to say. Okay. So, is there a civil war? Let's change decks for a minute. So, I've got the Rider-Waite, and now I'm going to move to the Arcanum Tarot. Okay, is there a civil war between the MAGA Groypers? Nick Fuentes, he is anti-Semitic. Between Nick Fuentes Groypers and what they consider to be globalist MAGA. All right. And at the end of the day, I just want to go back. I think, when I heard that Charlie Kirk had been murdered, assassinated, I went to bed that night and I was quite shocked and quite sad. And I relived my own sister's death that night. And I just want to say that this lands on the feet of Trump, the leader, the president of the United States, creating such an environment from 2016. Okay. And any further harm, the assassination of the Democrats in Minnesota, in not 12 weeks ago. A rep, her husband. Terrible, terrible political violence. Okay, is there a civil war between the Groypers and their term, globalist MAGA? Is there a civil war between the MAGA Groypers and the globalist MAGA? Something's jumped out there. Let's see what that is. 9 of Cups. Someone's getting their wish. Someone's getting their wish to further destabilised. Okay. Is there a civil war between the MAGA Groypers and the globalist MAGA? Those that want Epstein out, files out, and those that are trying to cover. Okay, 6 of Swords, moving on. And then the Hierophant. The Hierophant. The government. Moving on from the government. The Six of Pentacles, debt, financial debt. I think there's also going to be some pretty huge resistance to Trump's economy, which is that's yeah, we'll get to that. The Nine of Swords. So a lot of anxiety between this split, and the Ten of Cups, families, the voter. The immediate future is moderation. Okay, so there could be a call for toning everything down. I'd like to see that, but I don't think that would happen. Could be a lack of moderation, a lack of stability. The economy's coming in here, and the Three of Cups, circles of support. Seven of Wands is defending oneself, yeah. And then the Seven of Pentacles. If first one plan doesn't succeed, then we go to the second plan. But it's more than that. It's about the harvest not coming in, and so people are splitting. They didn't get the Epstein file, so they're splitting. The economy's not going so good, so they're splitting, and they're having to deal with their bases. So their audiences aren't happy, and they've got to reflect that. And Charlie Kirk was living that complexity. The Fool card, the new start, and then we get the Queen of Wands. There's a rising female here, a rising female leader. If I had to think who that might be, it probably would be Candace Owen. They're all jockeying here. This could also be Charlie Kirk's wife. Okay, Erica Kirk, and then we get a deal, and then the Hanged Man. At some point there'll be like a suspension here of hostilities, although they'll want to do that. And then we get wish fulfillment. So is there a civil war? It looks like there is, and I keep getting the Three of Pentacles here. These are foreign actors, even destabilizing MAGA. And so not just, this is Russia as well, China, whoever. America, because of its instability, has become a target for foreign actors to also destabilize, because you've got no stability in the leadership. It's a terrible, terrible thing. Okay, will there be more assassinations? What you can do about that is be stable and solid within your community and within your own political parties and states, and that's the way you counter that. Okay. Will there be more assassinations? This is what worries me. Will there be more assassinations? Will there be more political assassinations in the future? Will there be more political assassinations in the future? Will there be... there could be an attempt on... I keep getting the female. I don't know that she's killed, though. I think she might survive. Marjorie Taylor Greene could also be in danger as well, because I got blonde hair. They're not killed, but all of them need to be careful. Ooh, again, what's MTG doing now? Speaking out against, voting for to release the files, speaking out against Trump. So will there be any further attempts or assassinations? Oh, the King of Swords, strategy and planning. There's something being planned right now, and there's illusion and delusion and poor choices, and someone's seems like something's being planned right now. This is the Five of Wands, the partisanship that we live in is at the foundation of the reading. Page of Swords again, the young man. And then we get the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, I don't think this is successful though. The Hierophant, the government. So members of Congress need to be very, very careful. There is the Tower right now. That's why this is a long reading, because I wanted to get the warnings out there. I know everybody knows they need to be careful, but I'm just getting Congress specifically. There's a lot of anxiety here. The environment is not good. We get hopes and fears, moderation or lack of it. There's no word such as immoderation or unmoderate, but a lack of moderation. And the Ten of Cups, families, yeah, okay. So not just the members of Congress and the podcast, but also their families as well. And then defending oneself. The Knight of Wands, movement forward, and then the truth of it. So this is a time where the truth is laid out bare for everybody to see. Yeah. Yep. There is going to be at least another attempt. We're not done yet with this violence. The Page of Cups, again, young people, disappointed, utterly disappointed. Queen of Cups again suggests to me there may be another attempt. This is sort of working hard at something, and then abuse of power and sabotage. So, yeah, I'm afraid that there will, yeah. Okay, now I want to just look at the economy, because I think, I've been predicting for a long time that it's going to crash, that it's going to be terrible. Not just a recession, but a total and utter crash. I've been saying that for a long time. It did start, the difficulties started at the end of Biden's era, and then of course Trump has, even if Biden had got a second term, he could have worked to increase prosperity, to address the debt, doing all those sensible things, ferret out waste and fraud that shouldn't be happening. Even another president, Republican president, or another Democratic president would have avoided this. But what Trump's done is he's actually caused it. Okay, he's caused it to crash by what he's done. Okay, so will there be an economic crash in the US? What can you show me? Will there be an economic crash in the US? I keep getting the pictures of these beautiful little babies being picked up, and I want to say that this speaks to a time in the future where things will be okay. Will Trump's economy crash? Will Trump's US economy crash? Will Trump's economy crash? I'm seeing the tower card, but also, it's going to be a time of high volatility. You're going to need clear vision so at the state, if you've got a good governor, there he is, the MAGA cult. If you've got a good governor, you might be better insulated. If your state's more prosperous, will there be a economic crash in the US? Will there be an economic crash in the US? Oh, yes. The Ace of Wands. And now's the time to start planning for it. Something, it's like someone's standing. It's the trade. It's the tariffs. It's the trade. It's the lack of tourism. It's the whole lot. And no coherent plan either. Foundation of the reading is the government. Oh God. Who caused this crash? The government. The Ace of Cups. Okay, this is why it's so sad that people vote against their own well-being. Now, the Seven of Swords in the sky suggests they're going to lie about this for a time. I don't know, fudge the figures, yada yada, they're going to lie or try to. But we have planning and strategizing in the immediate future. It's also prosecution. They're not going to win that Supreme Court case on the Taurus either. The Devil card, I mean the toxicity of it all, the madness of it all, and then the truth will be laid bare for all to see. The truth of the devil, the greed, the mismanagement, the incompetence, the lot. The Nine of Swords is in the hopes and fears, and there's the Ace of Pentacles in the outcome. Yes, the money. Yes, is there going to be an economic crash and I get the Ace of Pentacles? Yes. Yes, the dollar is going to crash. And we've got abuse. Because why? Because of the abuse. Look at this. Look at this. And so the $1 million a day or whatever it is he's spending on sending the National Guard to the Blue City, whatever, it's all coming crashing down. It might be that only then you get a reprieve from his all right. Plan for it. Those cards are extremely strong yeses. Plan for it and you'll be ahead of the rest. Okay. This didn't need to happen. Now, I've got the Oracle cards. Where did I put that? The Secret Language of Darkness. I feel we need to finish on a higher note. This is a long reading, I know, but it's an important one. I think now we need to start to look, and I am looking too, for the light parts in our lives, the light parts in our situation, the parts, the positivity where we can see it. You know, oh yeah, I've got a bit of savings put away. Oh yeah, that's good. Oh, I've got lovely family and a little bit of security. I'll be okay. Oh, I've got a vegetable garden I planted out the back. I'm going to be fine. I'll be fine. I know struggle and darkness, and it is possible. It is possible to change the darkness, to come through the darkness, no matter what. Okay. What is it? What is the message here for all who are watching, who are struggling with darkness? For even those who may come across this video and are struggling and mourning the political assassination of Charlie Kirk. What is it that we need to know about these dark times? Okay. Number 10, spiritual warrior, discover and honour your inner courage. And this is what I was talking about, needing to find that inner courage in these dark times. Stress, freedom from fight, flight and freeze. Okay, so in a way the courage is, even though the anxiety is so much. And in a way, you know, this whole cross I said across the globe, you know, the worry that we have, no matter which country you're living in, it's about stepping back, just giving yourself some space between those situations that are so anxiety provoking, stepping back and allowing that space to be there. In the sway of influence, create with your authentic self. And if you feel like you've lost that inner core, you feel like you're going through the motions, whatever you may be feeling, the truth is to get back to yourself in whatever way you can. Underneath the pack we have 2020 vision. A new earth begins. You'll hear a lot of people talk about a new earth. After all of this is done and dusted, that a new earth is coming. And one where we can find forgiveness, release resentment and regain balance. I don't think that's all that far away. I think we've got a couple of rocky years, but I don't think it's all that far away. One where we can release resentment and regain balance. Okay, I'll leave that there. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I do appreciate you. I really do. And I think I've come to a little bit more, I don't know, come to terms a little bit with violent actions such as the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Even though he did call for the death of Joe Biden, and his inflammatory stuff was very cruel and hurt a lot of people. The shock and the violence of a young man being taken like that, it does have an impact. And so right now we need to be calm, we need to be safe, and we need to give ourselves that space between what is the encroaching darkness, if you like, here ourselves, and we just need to put a little bit of space and light between the two. All right, bye for now. Thanks for tuning in.